Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tornado Women's Basketball. Tonight's edition featuring the Brevard College Tornadoes, of course, facing off against the Berry College Vikings from Mount Berry, Georgia. The Vikings taking the trip here to the Bosch, trying to become the first team this season to defeat the Tornadoes in their home gym. The Bosch has been a real home court advantage so far for the Nados. More on that here in just a little bit. But the Tornadoes off to a hot start all in all here on the season, sitting at 3-1 on the year. The only loss came at Guilford. Guilford, a really strong program as well. Here on a Tuesday night, late November, season's starting to get going a little bit, get cranked up. And we've only seen the men's Brevard College basketball team here twice at the Bosch. This will already be our fourth time seeing the Brevard College women's basketball here on this floor. Back here in just a moment, we'll have some pregame thoughts, some keys to the game from Coach Hudd, as we always have, as well as the starting lineups. Then in about 15 minutes, it'll be time for Tornado basketball. Don't go anywhere, folks. Vikings and Nados coming up here shortly at the Bosch here in the mountains of western North Carolina. Back here at the Bosch, just about 10 minutes away from tip between these two squads, Barry and Brevard. And before we get this one started, we've got some keys to the game from head coach Donald Hudson. Number one, rebound, rebound, rebound. That seems to be the key almost every week at the top of the list that we get from Coach Hudd and really Coach Burgess as well on the men's side of things. But if you look at the rebounding numbers, Barry averaging just about 34 rebounds a game. Brevard well outpacing that, 46 boards a game so far through 4 contests. Ball screen defense, Barry a team very prominent with screens used in their offense, and it's going to be important for the Tornado defense to get through those and to make sure you still get contests and play physically on defense. And the last two, not as much game plan type things, but play with confidence, Coach Hudd says, and have fun taking care of each other. Some big keys there from Coach Hudson. We'll take a look at the matchup history between these two squads. Tornadoes have faced off against Barry 6 times, 3-3 all time. Started the matchup back in 2017, right around the time that Coach Hudson arrived here in Brevard. 3 matchups since 2021. NATOs are 1-2 in those 3, and the last matchup nearly a year ago to this date, November 29, 2022, a 62-57 loss for the Tornadoes at Barry in Mount Berry, Georgia. And for the Tornadoes themselves, matchup aside, they sit at 3-1 on the year. Won their last game against Warren Wilson, who they have dominated in that matchup. 6-1 all time against the Owls, and they move to 3-0 at home, still unbeaten on their home floor here. Chick Martin Court at the Boshemer Gymnasium, and at home the Tornadoes averaging 77 points a game with an average margin of victory of 17. Coach Donald Hudson sitting at 77 career victories. A win tonight helps them creep closer to number 80. And the Tornadoes will look to do just that here tonight against the Vikings, who sit at 2-3 overall, although both wins coming on the road for them. Last game for Barry was a 65-53 loss at Emory, their first road loss. Last year, the Vikings went 16-11. So nice to look back on last season's results since we're in the beginning frame of the year. Not quite sure what each team has to offer yet. Went 16-11 and lost in the Southern Athletic Association semifinals to Center over in Kentucky. So it should be a good matchup here tonight. And before we get too much further, let's take a look at these starting lineups for both teams, starting with the Vikings. Number 1, Ellie Callahan, the forward, 6-foot sophomore out of Ellijay, Georgia, starts us off. And then number 3, Kennedy Lee, leading scorer. More on that in a moment for Barry. 5'6" junior guard out of Valley Head, Alabama. Then it's Sarah Wright, number 12, the 5'5" senior guard out of Gurley, Alabama. Followed up with number 13, Jaron Jarrett, the 5'4" freshman guard out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. Rounding out the 5, number 15, Ellie Gearing, 5'9", senior forward out of Cleveland, Georgia. The Vikings are led by head coach Thomas Johnson, who is assisted by Lindsey Fleming. And now for your Tornado starting lineup, still no Nalia Boyce. She will be out tonight with an injury. Starting 5 for the Tornadoes is as follows. Number 4, China Pouncey out of Dillon, South Carolina. China will start things off, 5'7" senior guard. Then it's Lexi Shepard leading the conference in assists per game, junior guard, 5'2" out of Summerville, South Carolina. After her, it's number 10, Olivia Miller, the sophomore forward, 5'10" out of Hudson, North Carolina, who has been playing elite basketball since missing that first game against Bob Jones. After Olivia, it's number 15, Josie Hester, leading scorer for the NATOs, the transfer from UVA Wise, junior guard, 5'9". And then rounding out the 5, the ever-reliable McKenna Parkins, all-conference last year, getting her first start here in Game 5, number 24, the senior forward, 5'11", out of Marion, North Carolina. And the Tornadoes are led by head coach Donald Hudson in year 8, and he's assisted by Miss Annalie Bollinger in year 3. About 5 minutes away from tip here at the Bosch. We've got the starting lineups. We've got Coach Hudd's keys to the game. And now, just a couple of moments away, national anthem and starting lineups being brought to you by PA announcer Ray Gill here in just a moment. Tornadoes and Vikings coming up here live from the Bosch.
and gentlemen, the Brevard College Athletic Department respectfully asks you to please stand for the playing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, the visiting Vikings of Berry College. At 4, the 6-foot sophomore from LJ, Georgia, number 1, Ellie Callahan. At guard, the 5'6" junior from Valley Head, Alabama, number 3, Kennedy Lee. At guard, the 5'5" senior from Gurley, Alabama, number 12, Sarah Wright. At guard, the 5'4" freshman from Hendersonville, Tennessee, number 13, Jared Jarrett. And at 4, the 5'9" senior from Cleveland, Georgia, number 15, Ellie Garrett. Berry is coached by Thomas Johnson, assisted by Lindsay Fleming. And now, the starting lineup for your Brevard College Tornadoes. At guard, a 5'7" senior from Dillon, South Carolina, number 4, China Pouncey. At guard, a 5'2" junior from Summerville, South Carolina, number 5, Lexi Shepard. At 4, the 5'10" sophomore from Hudson, North Carolina, number 10, Olivia Miller. At guard, 5'9" junior from Huntersville, North Carolina, number 15, Josie Hester. And at 4, the 5'11" senior from Berry, North Carolina, number 24, McKenna Harkins.
There you have it, the starting lineups for both squads, Berry and Brevard. Two BC squads squaring off here, the Vikings and the Tornadoes. And it'll be, I believe, Ellie Callahan going against Olivia Miller for the jump ball. And then we will be ready for Tornado basketball. Nados 3-1, 3-0 at home, looking to keep that streak going. And Berry takes the tip. Lee with the basketball, the leading scorer, gives it quickly over to Jarrett. Now Wright. Wright dribbles to her left and is nearly stripped by Hester. Instead gets it off to Callahan. Wright once more. Now Lee, guarded by China Pouncey, the Tornadoes' most tenacious defender, around a screen. Now to the left side, it's Gearing. Gearing drives in, floats it up, and gets it to roll around and drop. So first possession basket for the Vikings, and now Lexi Shepard will give off quickly to Josie Hester. Josie dumps this one off to McKenna Parkins. McKenna back to Hester. Josie swings it over to the right corner. Lexi Shepard. Lexi might have got away with a push there. Floats one up to Miller. Miller, 8 on the shot clock, gives it to Parkins. McKenna turning around off the glass. Gets the Nados their first basket. Coach Hudson wants to see a quick start from his squad. Wright, guarded by Hester, fits a pass in to Gearing. Up top, firing. Callahan, no good, can't connect. Rebound, Josie Hester snatched out of her arms. Gearing has it, right wing. Gearing, corner right. Moving to her left. Left corner, Lee, 3-ball, air ball. It's going to be out of bounds, last touched by Ellie Callahan, and Tornado basketball heading the other way. Barry cannot capitalize on the second chance. And here's Lexi Shepard. Dishes to Miller. Olivia angling to her right. Gives to Hester in the low block. Doubled quickly and a travel. I think Hester believed that whistle was a foul. Instead, a travel on her. And with the score knotted up at 2 early, Barry retakes possession. Jarrett. Lee on the left wing. Around a screen. Picks up her dribble. Right. Three-pointer in front of the NATO bench is no good. So no luck from deep early on for Barry. And here's Lexi Shepard. Number 5 calling out the play. Dribbling on the BC logo, now to her right. Lexi going inside, puts up a layup off the glass. Lexi Shepard banks in an early layup. She's into the scoring. Lexi averaging only 6 points, but 4 rebounds, 5 assists per game on the year. Pass to right. Hester on her. Lee once again, quiet so far, leading scorer with 17 a game. Lee tries to thread the needle with a pass and turns it over. Out of bounds. Looks like she was looking for Sarah right there, couldn't find her. And the Tornadoes retake possession. Lexi guarded by Jaren Jarrett. Trying to go around the screen from Parkins, can't shake the defender, now Miller. Josie Hester right side. Trying to find Miller, cannot. Tipped up in the air and taken away by Barry. Jarrett moving quickly up the right side. Sarah Wright has it. Callahan, long 2, good. Hester hit the ground there.
That's by Ellie Callahan.
And all knotted up about 3 minutes in. Here's Lexi once more. Going inside quickly, now turning back. Switching gears. Nearly picks up the foot, finds Parkins. McKenna in the post. Jumper is good. Parkins with the basket there. Jarrett moving right to left, swatted away. China Pouncey. China in the open court. She'll circle back, does not have numbers, has the basketball, makes a defender fall. Parkins, low post, up off the glass and good off the roll. Parkins with some early points for Lexi Shepard on the assist there. Jarrett over to Lee on the right wing. Waiting for a screen, goes away from it now. Turning around, pressured. Pouncey on her. Pass into the corner. Gearin. Inside on the right elbow, and she's fouled. Olivia Miller just laughs at the call. Does not agree with it. First foul on either side. 4 minutes into this one. Gearin has it up top, goes quickly to Callahan. Turnaround jumper, too strong. Pouncey with the rebound, and here's Lexi. Lexi angling to her right, gives to Pouncey. China on the right wing, tries to get it to Miller, and it's stolen. Callahan does not have numbers, goes to the left corner, Lee. Lee stripped away by Shepard, gets hit, no whistle. Gearin goes inside, wide open layup. Lee wanted a whistle, didn't get it, and the Tornadoes with an 8-6 lead halfway through the first. Lexi trying to get it to Miller again. It's nearly stolen again. Olivia has it. She steps out of bounds, and it'll be Dean Barry basketball. Jarrett once more. 5:03 to go in the first. Here's Sarah Wright. Lexi on her. Now switches on to Lee. Lee around the screen. Back up top. Callahan. Long ball is there. Callahan 6 foot. Draining it from straight away. And a 1-point advantage for the Vikings early on. Shepard left wing, whips one to Pouncey. Olivia at the stripe, turning around, goes inside, goes up, and is fouled. That'll be a timeout here. Not sure if that one was in the act of shooting or on the floor. We'll find out when we get back. 4.5 to go in the first. NATO's trailing by 1. Back at the Bosch as the NATOs pour back out onto the floor. No changes yet. And it will be free throws for Olivia Miller. Was found in the act of shooting. Olivia short on the first one. Chance to tie things back up here early on with free throw number 2. Miller is true there. And we are tied up 9 apiece early on here. Jarrett at the controls. Gives to Lee on the left wing. Lee away from a screen. Has a crease. Puts it up off the glass. It's there. Shepard up the court. Jarrett guarding tightly. Now McKenna Parkins. Couple of dribbles, now gives to Hester up top. Josie angling to her right. Miller inside. Nice move. Dish off to Parkins, and the basket is good. A nice feed there from Olivia Miller, who's been playing great basketball, and McKenna Parkins already has 6 as Jarrett trying to hit third gear on Lexi Shepard, instead defers to Lee. Lee around a screen, trying to get past Miller. Pass intercepted. Josie Hester. And she's called for a travel. The foot was not picked up. And now Donald Hudson wanting an explanation, getting at least a semblance of one from the official. Michaela Street will check in and get China Pouncey. I'm not sure that the foot moved there for Josie Hester. Nevertheless, it will be Berry basketball at the discretion of the officials early on here. 3:34 to go in the first, tied up at 11. Lee into the corner to right. Sarah Wright from left to right on Hester. Goes up, contested. It's blocked by a tornado, at least partially, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll stay with Berry. Lee up top to Guerin. Guerin wants a quick pass. Instead, she'll drive. Puts it up, and again, another layup off the glass for Berry. So Berry retakes the lead. A back-and-forth first quarter as Michaela Street has it. Her first time in. Hester up top. 3 ball, too strong. Rebound corralled by Guerin. And she gives off to Lee, who heads up the left side. Straight away, Lee from deep. Can't connect. McKenna Parkins chasing after the rebound. It'll be out of bounds. Trying to save it there was Sarah Wright. Not able to, and the possession will turn back over to the NATOs. 2:52 and counting here in the first. Josie Hester up top, Parkins. McKenna, pressure from Callahan. Turn around, left elbow jumper, a bit short. And Kennedy Lee gives to Jarrett. Jarrett trying to find a pass, goes back to Lee. Tight fit there, right. Down low, Callahan working on Miller. Into the left corner. Lee left alone on the wing from deep and buries it. Largest lead so far for Barry, 5 points as it stands with 2:10 to go in the first. Lexi Shepard trying to find some offense for the Tornadoes and turns it over. Lee with the steal on Street, circling back. Right wing looking for somebody. She'll find Callahan. Pulls a quick 2 and drains it. A run here from Barry late in the first has them up 7 points. 1:49 remaining here in the first. Lexi, free throw line. Turning around, looking for anybody, has Miller up top. Into the corner, Michaela Street. Street puts her head down, drives, puts it up, and can't get the roll. McKenna Parkins offensive rebound. Her second chance shot won't go. Jarrett. Barry moving very well right now. And getting to their offensive sets. Down low, Gearin goes up, too strong. Rebound, Josie Hester. Josie trying to get by defenders. Here's Lexi. Lexi inside and a travel. Another travel call against the Tornadoes. And now some substitutions. Christina Roan and Shania Hauser coming in, as well as number 2, Lauren Ellard. And number 14, Ava Travis. Jarrett to Kennedy Lee on the left wing. Starting to get going is Lee at the free throw line. Picked up by Miller and a foul. That one will be on Christina Roan. Parkins had to head out. May have got banged up a little bit. Now takes a seat and grabs some water. Foul is on the floor, so no free throws. Only the second foul against the Tornadoes. Sarah Wright with the basketball. Picked up by Josie Hester. Gets a screen. Goes away from it. Into the corner. Lee puts up a 3. She's blocked. Michaela Street with the rejection. Lee's on the floor. Michaela Street's off and running. The fastest player on the court is going to slow things down. Has a one-on-one here with Carly Armstrong, who just checked in. Now Olivia Miller with the basketball up top. Back to Street. Going to take a tray ball and cannot hit it. Lee with the rebound. Sarah Wright fires a 3 of her own and cans it. Barry's opened up a 10-point lead here late in the first, and the Tornado defense not getting the result that they hoped for early on here. Shania Hauser with the basketball. Redirecting, gives to Hester. Josie, jab step, goes inside, picks up her dribble, spinning around Miller. 3 ball is too strong. Rebound brought in by Wright. 4 seconds to go in the first. See if she slows it down. 2, 1, Lee from deep, and a foul. A foul on Michaela Street on a desperation heave from Kennedy Lee. The officials are going to confer here to either confirm or deny the call. And it'll be on Michaela Street. 3rd foul against Brevard, and 3 free throws coming here for Lee. A chance to open up a 13-point lead for the Vikings here in the first. In a game that was very tightly contested until just moments ago. Game was tied up at 11 apiece with less than 4 minutes to go in the first, and all of a sudden we could be staring at a 24-11 deficit as Lee knocks down the first. Lee already with 3 assists as she hits free throw number 2. 7 points for her here in the first, and a chance to make it 8. Which she will. Knocks down all 3 free throws, and the Tornadoes down 13 at the end of the first. Not the defensive result that the Tornadoes wanted to see at all, but we will see how they bounce back here in quarter number 2. See if we can narrow this thing down heading into the break. It happened quickly for Barry. It can happen quickly for Brevard. We'll step aside and take a break before quarter number 2. Back in just a moment from the Bosch. Vikings and Tornadoes. Back for quarter number 2, and the Tornadoes looking for a better result the second time around here. It was a really tight first quarter up until the final 4 minutes. Tornadoes were tied at 11 apiece with less than 4 to go, and now find themselves down 13 at the start of quarter number 2. As Josie Hester takes a straightaway 3, can't find it. Rebound pulled in Olivia Miller. Miller over to Roan. Street gonna put her head down, pass back out to Miller. Right corner, Hauser, Roan. Back over to Miller. Thinks about the 3, now back to Roan. 8 on the shot clock, loses the basketball, moving to her left. Pass to Hauser, 4 on the shot clock. Hauser off the mark, and the offensive rebound cannot be brought in by Street. Pass into the open court, layup no good there by number 2, Lauren Ellard. And then the putback attempt no good by Travis. Roan heaves it in quickly to Miller, who can't find the mid-range from the right elbow. Miller sort of laughing at herself after missing that shot. Don't think she was expecting that outcome. NATO's still trailing by 13 a minute into the second here. Jarrett, right to left. Now Armstrong. Into the corner, it is the newly checked in Jackson, and it's stolen by Miller. Olivia in the open court, puts up the layup and has it. Olivia Miller, good start to the second quarter. Jarrett gives to Jackson. Guarded by Christina Roan, swats at the ball, can't get it. Backdoor pass by Armstrong is ripped away. Street has it. Michaela Street once again on the defensive end. Going inside, through 3 defenders, she's got it. The speed of Michaela Street too much. The deficit back to single digits. Still some work to do here in the early part of the second. Jarrett trying to lose Roan. Free throw line jumper. Cannot get the roll. That one hung on the rim. Hauser with the rebound. Christina Roan bringing it up. Passes to Street. Street guarded by Armstrong. Now Hester tries to find Hauser, and a turnover there. Travis able to get the positioning on that pass and take it away. Jarrett moving quickly. Fakes the 3. Pulling back now is Jackson. Into the corner, Jarrett. Jackson has it once more. Parkins and Jada Petty-Wilkins getting ready to check in. A steal by Hester. One-on-one break. Josie off the glass, floats it in. Tornadoes with a run of their own to open up this second quarter, and they're down 7 with 7:15 to go in the half. Jarrett still running the point. Haven't seen her take a break yet. Around the screen, gives to Jackson. Nearly another steal for Hester. And now it is Josie with another rip. Hauser in the open court, loses the basketball. Has it back though, however, Hester. Spinning around, and an offensive foul against Hester. A little bit of an acting job there from Lauren Ellard. And a turnover for the Tornadoes. So Parkins will check back in, as well as Jada Petty-Wilkins. Jada averaging just under 7 points a game so far on the year. Jarrett over to Lee, who's back in. Corner, Jackson, no good, short. Rebound, Michaela Street. Street racing now, spinning around. Nice move through defenders, and she can't finish the layup. Michaela Street with a dazzling move there. The footwork on display, but could not find the finish. 6:20 to go in the first half. Jarrett around defenders, thought about the bounce pass, instead swings it over. Lee on the left wing, guarded by Petty-Wilkins. Spinning around, puts it up, and is rejected. Jada Petty-Wilkins with the block there. Now here's Roan. Street trying to find positioning, loses it momentarily, turns around. Hauser, long 2-ball, just short. Jarrett now. Letting the offense develop, now to the right, Lee. Lee to the screener, Travis, under the basket, wrestling for the basketball. It's a jump ball, and the possession arrow will stay with Barry. as more subs coming in here. Ellie Callahan back in, as well as Sarah Wright and Ellie Gearing. For the NATO's, Lexi Shepard checked back in. Street will head to the bench. Inbound to Gearing, able to get it just in front of the half-court line as she drives in on McKenna. Right elbow, pass over to Jarrett. Got away with a carry there. Left wing Lee, guarded by Petty Wilkins, and a shot clock violation. NATO's still down 7 with 5:19 to go in the half, and now whistles blowing. The official wanted to take a look at the clock here, make sure everything was correct. With 5:23 to go here in half number 1. Hauser into Roan. Now Shepard on the left wing. Hauser whips it over to Roan. Tightly contested by Jarrett. Spinning around. A plethora of defenders. Jada Petty Wilkins up top wide alone. Too strong. Lexi with the offensive rebound. Shepard over to Petty Wilkins, left wing. She'll charge in. Hauser, Roan makes a move. Back to Petty Wilkins. Moving to her right. Back turn, now squares up. Jada inside. Parkins, mid-range there. McKenna with a point at Jada, saying thanks for the assist. 10 points for Parkins in the first half, leading all scorers. As Lee goes inside, puts up a layup, wild layup, can't hit, and now a foul. Coach Donald Hudson is getting a little bit perturbed with the officiating, I believe, but trying to keep his mouth closed. And now a timeout. 4:32 remaining in half number 1. The NATO's trailing by 5, but free throws coming here for Barry after the foul called in favor of Kennedy Lee. It'll be the second Tornado foul of the second quarter. As you see Coach Hudson going back over things with this team. The main emphasis, aside from rebounding, that Coach Hudson gave us for his keys to the game was ball screen defense. As you're seeing, Barry likes to run a lot of screen action on the offensive end and kind of make defenders get lost and have to run around all ball game and lose stamina. And so far, not quite as much here in the second quarter. Barry's still scoreless, but first half as a whole, it has worked out for the Vikings as the Tornadoes trail it by 5. Tornadoes really need to find some offense from a source not named McKenna Parkins. McKenna with 10 of the 19 Tornado points, over half of the scoring output coming from number 24 in her first start of the regular season. NATO's hanging tough though. Good answer so far here, starting the second quarter on an 8-0 run. About halfway through this quarter. And it'll be 2 free throws upon the return to action for Kennedy Lee. Lee puts up the first free throw and hits. Second free throw for Lee is pure. 5 points from the free throw line for Kennedy Lee. Lexi brings it up with the NATOs down 7. Just under 4.5 to play. Lexi angling to her right around a screen from Hauser. Dumps off to Roan. Christina thought she had Hauser. Hauser was not looking, had to redirect and give to Shepard, who drives inside on the baseline. McKenna up off the glass once again. McKenna looks unstoppable from the mid-range so far here in this first half. NATO deficit back down to 5 with 4:02 to play in the first half. Jarrett moves right. Now trying to find Callahan, guarded by the smaller Roan. Turnaround, too short. Ball knocked out of the hands of Parkins, but Gearing can't save it. And Olivia Miller will check back in here for the NATOs. Shania Hauser heading back over to the bench. Here's Shepard, 3:45 and counting here in half number 1. Miller, a bit of a lazy pass there by Shepard, but Miller gets hacked by Callahan, who did not agree. And now Olivia Miller will inbound. Lexi once again guarded by Jaren Jarrett. Miller, free throw line, Parkins, now the corner, Roan. From deep, she connects. Tornadoes have come storming back here in this second quarter, and head coach Thomas Johnson wants a timeout to talk things over with his Viking players. Nados have cut the deficit back down to 2 after entering the quarter down 13. Nearing the half, Tornadoes trailing at 26-24, and we'll be back here in just a moment from the Bosch. .323 to go in the second half. Tornadoes back rolling here. Trailing at 26-24 as Jaren Jarrett brings the ball up the floor. No changes for either side as Kennedy Lee has it up top around a screen from Callahan. Trying to find the angle, cannot. Gives to Callahan up top, who drives in left. Right, trying to lose Petty Wilkins, and Jada nearly gets a steal, instead hit with a foul, but Coach Hudson clapping on the sideline. He is a big fan of that defensive pressure, and he'll take a few fouls in order to get some steals. If that makes sense. Lee, left corner, and another foul immediately on Jada Petty Wilkins, and don't think Coach Hudson's a fan of that one. Bit unfortunate there. Jada got tripped up a little bit. Lee, inbounds to Jarrett. Left wing Lee has a screen to her right and takes it. Pass out, right. 3 from the corner, too strong. Rebound McKenna Parkins. McKenna gets hit a little bit. Gives off to Jada Petty Wilkins. Jada on the right wing, guarded up by Lee. Gives to Roan, who just knocked down the tray ball on the right side, and she redirects. Driving in now, gives to Miller. Olivia, jab step, dumps back off to Roan. Short pass. Nice dribbling there from Roan. Shepard right wing and a travel. She knew it too. No contest from number 5. 2:21 to go here in the half. Vikings holding on to a 2-point lead. As Jarrett brings it up. Lee, right side, just inside the 3-point line. Ranges to her left. Backdoor pass to Callahan. She's able to retrieve it, and now a travel. So another walk, this time on Barry. Josie will check back in now. Hester will take the place of Jada Petty Wilkins, who just picked up 2 quick fouls in succession. 2:02 and counting as Olivia Miller receives the pass from Roan. Quickly, low post. Hester knocks the defender around. Turning around, gives to Miller. Straight away 3, short. Shepard tried to race in for the offensive board and couldn't get it. Now she'll try and apply pressure to Jarrett. Foot race up the court, and Jarrett pumps the brakes. Right, left wing, getting a screen from Ava Travis, who just checked in. Gearing, just in front of the free throw line, and now a travel on her. Ellie Gearing, the senior forward, called for the travel there. And here's Christina Roan. Likes that spin move, gives to Miller. Josie Hester on the left wing in front of the Barry bench. Parkins tries to fire it in to Miller. Knocked up in the air and knocked out. Last touch by a Viking defender. And now Carly Armstrong will check back into the ball game for this final 122. Parkins, left corner, decides to move in herself. Pass up top over the head of Shepard. She'll try and chase this one down as Lee will try and chase it down and let it move out. Berry basketball. There wasn't a lot of time left on the shot clock. Lexi Shepard, aside from the backcourt violation she would have received, decided not to even bother chasing that one down. Left side, Jarrett, now Gearing. Jarrett has it back, stepping back from deep, off the mark. Rebound, Lexi Shepard. Lexi, third gear, floats it off the hand of Parkins, going back Berry's way. Swatted away by McKenna, this time out of Jarrett's hands, but will stay with the Vikings with 58.5 to go in half number one. Still a 26-24 contest as Jaron Jarrett brings it up. Right side, Armstrong, around a screen from Travis. Lee, three ball, too strong. And now quickly a foul on Ava Travis upon the rebound from Josie Hester. Only the second foul against Berry, and Olivia Miller will head back over to inbound.
Berry fouls number 14, Ava Travis, her first, team second.
Lexi brings it up. Less than 40 seconds to play in half number one. An entertaining first half. Christina from deep again. This time it's off. Armstrong can't handle it for a moment. Does get it back. 4 seconds or so between the shot clock and the game clock. And it looks like Armstrong in no hurry to run a play here. Coach Thomas Johnson watching from the Berry sideline, and now Armstrong will get into her offensive action. Drives inside, stripped by Hester, gets it back. Corner, head fake by Gearing. She goes inside, puts up a hook shot, can't connect. 4 seconds, Parkins trying to hurry it up. Lexi loses a defender, puts it up, off the glass, can't get it. Too strong, and the Nados will head into the break, trailing by 2. Tornadoes dominating the second quarter, 13-2. After entering the second quarter trailing 24-11. At the break, your Nados down by a score, 26-24. We'll be back here in just a moment for the halftime report, stats, thoughts, and more at the break from the Bosch. Tornadoes looking to stay unbeaten at the Bosch, trailing by 2 here so far. Back in a moment. Back at the halftime report here from the Bosch. The 3-1 Nados trailing by 2 to the 2-3 Berry Vikings here after one half of basketball. Taking a look at some of the team stats, Berry shooting a significantly worse clip than Brevard is so far. 44% for the Nados, 34% for Berry. From the free throw line, though, Berry's 5 for 5. Nados have only got one try at the stripe. They went 1 for 2. That was Olivia Miller. From beyond the arc, though, the Tornadoes really struggling. Only 1 for 8. Good for 12.5% from deep. Berry, 25% from deep, so also not a good clip, but they've knocked down a pair more than the Tornadoes have. Rebounding-wise, the Tornadoes doing exactly what Coach Hudson urged them to do with his keys to the game that he presented to us, out-rebounding the Vikings 19-12, including 3 offensive boards. There have been 4 ties and 2 lead changes for both sides in this game. Defensively, the Nados out-rebounding Berry 16-11. Although, despite all these close stats, Barry has had the lead for 14 and a half minutes. Brevard only 2.5 minutes. Assist-wise, Tornadoes with 7 of those. Turnover-wise, though, the NATOs losing that battle 13-10, so nothing crazy so far, but still in a deficit there. 4 blocks for the Tornadoes, none for Barry. 6 steals for both sides. 11 points off turnovers for the Vikings and 10 for the Tornadoes. Each team with 36 possessions in the first half, and the result, Barry leading it by 2. Individually, McKenna Parkins leading, really carrying the Tornado offense with half of the offensive output in half number 1. 12 of the 24 points coming off of the right hand of McKenna Parkins. Olivia Miller and Christina Roan, both the 3 points behind her. And for Barry, Ellie Callahan, the 6-foot forward, leading the scoring with 10. Ellie gearing right behind her with 7. And then Kennedy Lee, who has been the leading scorer at just over 17 a game this year so far, only with 6 in half number 1. And I believe all of those were from free throws. All 6 points, yes, from free throws by Kennedy Lee. A correction. No, the stats not up to date, or misleading, rather. Our live stats, apologies, folks. I'm giving you completely false information. 10 points for Kennedy Lee, 7 points for Ellie Callahan. For some reason, an error in the system there. It's 10 points for Lee, 5 of them coming from the free throw stripe. Only 2 for 7 from the field, but higher than the original output that I stated. 12 points for McKenna Parkins is correct. 3 points for Miller, 2 for Hester, 2 for Shepard, 3 for Roan, and 2 for Street. And those are the only NATOs that have scored so far. But remember, the last time that there was a sort of low-scoring first half for Josie Hester, she came out with 16 points in half number 2. So look for a surge like that out of the break for Hester. And maybe the Tornado offense as a whole, depending on what Coach Hudson has to say to them. About 10 minutes away from half number 2. NATO's trailing it by 2. And we will be back here in just a few moments. 26-24 Barry at the break. Back at the Bosch, about 2 minutes away from second half action. Tornadoes trailing at 26-24. For those of you just joining us, McKenna Parkins with 12 points, and leading scorer for Barry, Kennedy Lee, with 10. McKenna really been carrying most of the offensive slack. The other 12 points coming in some form or fashion from Miller, Hester, Shepard, Roan, and Street, all with 3 or 2 apiece. And again, 12 big ones in the first half for McKenna Parkins. Did not see a lot from Josie Hester. Josie in that first half, 2 points, 1 for 3 from the field. So wasn't shooting it very often. 3 rebounds and 6 turnovers for her in that first half. Did have 3 steals, however. At least was making a solid contribution on the defensive end. And for Barry Lee, they got to stop sending her to the free throw line. Half of her 10 points came from the free throw line, including a questionable foul call on a three-pointer at the very end of quarter number 1. A quarter that saw the Tornadoes trailing 24-11 at the conclusion of it, despite being tied up at 11 with less than 4 minutes to go. An explosion at the end, maybe with some possible aid from the referees late in that first quarter, but the Tornadoes came scorching in half number 2, getting out to a 13-2 advantage in that second quarter to make it, all in all, a 2-point ball game. 26-24 the score as the Barry Vikings come together on the far end of the floor. They are ready. Tornadoes finishing up their shooting on the near end of the court. And we'll see what we have in store in the second half. Tornadoes trying to stay unbeaten at their home gym so far. 3-0 this season at the Bosch, trying to make that 4-0 as we get ready for half number 2. Likely the same 5 that we saw to begin the game. Can assure you we'll see McKenna Parkins take this floor. It is the same starting 5 for Barry. And just about that time, second half basketball coming here from the Boschmer Gymnasium. And the Tornadoes will start with the possession. Here's Lexi Shepard. Miller, now China Pouncey. Didn't see a ton of China in the first half as Hester with the basketball. Pursuing inside, wasting no time, and one! Josie Hester putting it up with a chance for 3 points. Right off the bat, athletic, agile move from Hester there. Weaved between defenders, threw it up while falling, and found the bottom of the net. And just like that, Josie has more than doubled her scoring on the night. 2 points in the first half, now sitting at 5 for the game. After the and one play, Lexi Shepard nearly gets a steal, and so does Hester, but Wright gets past her. Right side, Lee. Driving in, pass knocked away by Parkins, but saved. Into the corner, now up top. Right wing, Callahan pursuing inside, turnaround jumper, rolls in and out. Lexi Shepard with the basketball. Guarded tightly by Jaron Jarrett, a matchup we've been seeing all night as Miller has it up top. Now right wing Pouncey finds Parkins. McKenna able to haul it in. Now Miller, right elbow, picked up, turnaround, pass. Hester from deep, cannot connect. Rebound brought in by Jaron Jarrett in the corner. And now here goes Kennedy Lee. Lee's been getting to the foul line, nearly loses her own dribble, almost crossed herself up there. Lost Lexi Shepard for a moment. Now Jarrett. Around a screen from Callahan, now passes it to Callahan. Fakes out Parkins, goes up with a layup and gets it. Pouncey with the basketball. China serves it over to Lexi Shepard. Lexi from right to left. Back to Pouncey, into the corner, fits it into Miller, and it's taken away. Gearing with the steal. Here comes Lee. Kennedy Lee trying to put a move on Hester, puts it up, no good. Rebound Callahan. Callahan thinks about the mid-range jumper instead, off to right. Jarrett left alone, straightaway 3, too strong. Rebound knocked out of the hands of Parkins by Gearing, and it'll go Brevard's way. Gearing does not agree. She thought McKenna had touched it last. And here's Lexi. Josie Hester up top. Miller, high post, now back to Hester. Loses her defender, picked up, tries to find Miller on the bounce pass and just overshoots her there. A turnover for the Tornadoes. 1 point ball game. 7:45 to go in the third here as Jarrett gets past Lexi Shepard. Feeds right, corner, Callahan, 3-ball, bottoms. So a little bit of cushion now for the Vikings. Lead it by 4. Hester fouled. Fouled by Jarrett there. First foul, second foul against the Vikings.
Jarrett, it's her first and team second.
And correction, that three-pointer by Callahan was a long 2. So only a 3-point lead is Lexi Shepard losing defenders. Picked up by multiple. Gives to Miller. Into the corner. Pouncey and an offensive foul. A charge against Miller as she tried to dump that one off. Her momentum carried her into defenders. Barry basketball, another turnover for the NATOs. Right, up top. Now Lee, who is going to be fouled by Shepard.
Tornado fouls number 5, Lexi Shepard, her first, team second.
Lee into the corner, Gearing right back to Kennedy Lee. On the left wing, Josie Hester on her. Pep in her step, gives down to Jarrett. Straightaway 3, too strong once more. McKenna Parkins with a nice rebound, fighting for it now. And a jump ball called. The possession arrow will stay with Barry. Lee to inbound from the baseline. Lee finds Gearing on the left elbow, turning around, trying to go to work on Parkins. Instead gives to Callahan. Callahan jumper, no good. Rebound wrestled in by Josie Hester. Hester pass for Pouncey, who wasn't ready for it, and it'll go over to the Tornado bench. Another turnover for the Brevard offense here in the third quarter. Sloppy offensive play so far for the team in gray. Jarrett crossing over on Shepard. Gives to Lee. Lee driving inside. She's drawn some fouls and draws another one. 5 of Lee's 10 points have come from the free throw line. Chance to add 2 more of those here as Alexis Marshall will check in for the first time in this one. Marshall, 3 points a game. Doesn't get a whole lot of action, but in here as Josie Hester will take a seat after another turnover. First free throw good by Lee. As is the second. 7 for 7 from the free throw stripe is Kennedy Lee. Lexi going to try and get the offense in check here about 4 minutes into the third. Quick feet from Shepard. Loses the basketball momentarily, now gives to Marshall. Marshall moving to her left. Corner Pouncey, surges inside, stops, gives to Shepard. Lexi trying to work the feet again. She's tangled up and loses the basketball. Another Tornado turnover. Gearing has it. Hands to Jarrett, who loses it herself. It was tipped by Shepard, though, as Lexi sticking on to Jarrett here. And Wright has it, going to pull up a 3 herself, cannot get it to fall. Rebound McKenna Parkins. Shepard to Marshall left wing. Back to Lexi. 5:28 to go in the third. NATO's trailing by 5. Pouncey, corner. Shepard looking for some space, gives to Miller. Marshall left wing, putting on a move, goes up with a layup. Too strong off the glass, but a foul. Parkins hits the ground as well, and 2 free throws coming here for Alexis Marshall. Second foul against Ellie Gearing, third in the quarter for Barry. Lexi Shepard will head over to the bench. Michaela Street will come in. First free throw by Marshall. Rattles around and in. Low scoring affair. The Tornadoes so far this year coming into tonight averaging 77 points a game on their home court. As the second free throw no good from Marshall. And here's Jarrett. Loses Street. And now retreats. Gives it to Lee on the right wing. Has been getting a favorable whistle so far. She's picked up by 3 defenders. Callahan left alone out deep, but she can't knock it down. Gearing with the rebound. On the baseline, stuffed by Pouncey and a foul. And it seems like the Tornadoes really aren't being given much leeway with their post defense. A media timeout coming here just under 5 minutes to go here in the third. Tornadoes trailing by 4, and we'll take a break with them. 32-28 when we return here to the Bosch mid-third quarter. Out of the media timeout, Barry basketball. Kennedy Lee to inbound here. Midway through the third, still no changes for Barry. As Gearing has it and throws away. She thought that Jaren Jarrett was going to come the opposite direction, and right as she threw it, Jarrett cut back the way that she was not intending. Marshall has the ball, now gives to Miller. Up top, over to China Pouncey. China ranging to her right, gives to McKenna up top. Stripped away for a second, but gets it back. Street knocked away by Wright, but out of bounds harmlessly towards the scorer's table. A dangerous pass there by Parkins. Wright had a beat on it. And 10 seconds on the shot clock as the Tornadoes resume the possession here. 7, Pouncey. Street on the right wing. 5 on the shot clock and a foul. Foul on Jarrett. It'll be her second foul, the 4th on Barry, and now Carly Armstrong going to check back in. Seen her a couple times tonight so far as Olivia tosses it into Marshall. Marshall, Street, putting a move on Armstrong. Corner, Pouncey, all alone from deep, can't connect. Rebound knocked away and into the arms of Armstrong, and now a foul on Olivia Miller. Fifth foul on the Nados will put the Vikings in the bonus. 2 free throws coming here for Armstrong as Josie Hester comes back into this one with 4:08 to go in the third. Armstrong, first free throw is good. First free throw for Barry that is not taken by Kennedy Lee. They are now 8 for 8 on the night. Attempt number 9 coming here. And that one rattles around and in as well. Jada Petty-Wilkins will come in for the Tornadoes here. She'll get Miller out. And also Lauren Ellard for Barry. Here's Marshall. 4 minutes and counting to go in the third. Marshall pumping the gas and the brakes at the same time, gives to Street. Hester doubled, now gives to Parkins up top. McKenna looking for a backdoor. Hester can't find her. Ball's knocked around and brought in by Marshall, and now a foul against Ellard. It was a risky pass that did not pay off for McKenna Parkins. Should have been a steal for Barry. Instead, knocked up in the air and taken in by Alexis Marshall, who has 2 more free throws coming here as Brevard is back in the bonus. Marshall, first free throw good. Went 1 for 2 her first trip. Now 2 for 3. 5-point ball game. 3:46 to go in the third. And Marshall knocks them both down this time. Alexis 3 of 4 from the stripe. And here's a player who also hasn't missed from the stripe, Kennedy Lee. Gives off to Armstrong. A screen from Ellard. Pass is knocked around by Street, but Barry has it back. Right, left alone on the left wing. Can't hit it. Rebound, though, knocked over to Kennedy Lee. Armstrong going to drive in herself. Charging in, now passes back out to right. Guarded by Hester, right. Right to left. Armstrong, jab step, pass. Callahan, left elbow, looking for room, now back to Armstrong. 5 on the shot clock. Armstrong trying to get positioning on Parkins. And a foul on Michaela Street. So 2 more free throws coming here for Barry. And the whistle bailing him out again. Two more free throws for Armstrong, who just knocked down a pair a moment ago. And there's another one. Armstrong in and out. Rebound off the hands of Street, knocked out by Ellard. And it'll be Brevard basketball. Armstrong able to split the pair and get the lead back up to 5 with 3:04 to go in the third. Armstrong gets screened off by Parkins. Michaela Street with the basketball, now Josie Hester. Josie looking for an opening. Gives to Marshall on the right wing, who floats a pass almost too high for Parkins, but the turnaround mid-range is pure. McKenna cuts it to a 1-possession game, 35-32 here in the final stages of the third. 2.5 to go. Lee going to charge inside, over to right, mishandles it. In the corner now. Josie Hester guarding her. Around a screen picked up by Parkins. Into the corner, Lee. Keeps her feet in bounds. Now around a screen from Callahan, picked up by Petty Wilkins. Callahan, Street on her. Trying to get to the paint, tangled up, and a foul on Parkins. And the referees continuing to bail out the Barry Vikings. Jaron Jarrett will come back in for Barry, assumedly for the final 2 minutes and 17 seconds of this third quarter. Callahan, first free throw, misses short. Callahan has 11 points. And the second one is good. 2-possession game once more. As Alexis Marshall, an extended stay here in the third quarter and making the most of it. 3 points for her in the quarter as Hester goes right to left. A move behind the back, loses it. Corner, Street, all alone. Can't connect. Marshall, though, with the offensive rebound. Street, right to left, going to take it inside this time. Pass, Parkins underneath the goal, and the foul, count it. A chance for a 3-point play for number 24. McKenna Parkins continuing to carry this Tornado offense. Chance to make it a 1-point game for McKenna once again. McKenna has 16. Now make it 17. Jaron Jarrett up the floor with 1:50 to go in the third. Pass Street went for the interception, couldn't get it. Now Lee picked back up by Street. Jarrett up top, now Armstrong. Armstrong drives inside, puts it up, too strong, rebound Alexis Marshall. Chance to take the lead here for the Tornadoes. Alexis over to Hester. Josie left alone from deep, cans it! Josie Hester gives the Tornadoes their first lead since the first quarter. A 2-point lead with 1:18 to go in the third. Hester starting to come alive herself. Lee across, gonna take it inside, now back out to Ellard. Her three-pointer, can't find it. Rebound is not gonna be saved by Lee. It'll be going Brevard's way with 1:05 to go. And the Bosch starting to get into it. This Tornado crowd live. Michaela Street will inbound. And the gym probably the most full it's been so far early in the season as the NATO's trying to get to 4-0 on their home court. Marshall called for a travel. Lost that pivot foot trying to dump it off to Hester. And another Tornado turnover. Saw a lot more of those at the early part of the third. They've cut down since. And now lead by 2 as Jarrett losing the basketball, knocked away by Hester, but will stay with Barry. Inbound by Jarrett, knocked away! Michaela Street in the open court, and she's rejected by Lee from behind. Michaela Street decided not to immediately go up with it, gave Lee time to catch up, and a monster block there for Kennedy Lee, but the possession will stay with the NATOs. 45.5 to go in the third. Marshall trying to find someone. Has Parkins up and one! Off the inbound, McKenna Parkins with 19 points. And a chance for one more to make it 20. Coming back in here for Barry is Ava Travis. Parkins taking it to him. Free throw good once again. McKenna Parkins has 20 points. And she'll sub out for Olivia Miller, much to the dismay of the Tornado crowd. The NATO faithful wants to see Parkins continue to eat, but Coach Hudson wants to save her for the fourth. Jarrett stuck up. Hester guarding her. Now Josie will switch on to Lee. Crowd providing energy. Armstrong pulls a three, in and out. Rebound brought in by Travis. Travis surrounded by Tornado. She goes up in a foul. Tornado lead up to 5, but could be cut down here with Ava Travis free throws coming. Travis has not scored yet, has only taken one shot. First free throw, no good. Definitely the most exciting Tornado basketball contest we've seen in this early November slate so far. Travis able to can that one. And now a timeout for head coach Donald Hudson and company. 21 seconds to go here in the third. NATO's leading it by 4, 41-37, outscoring Barry 17-10 here in the third. And we'll take a break with Coach Hudson. Back in just a moment from the Bosch. NATO's with the lead late in the third. Final stages of the third here. And the Tornadoes We'll see if they play for the last shot or go aggressive here. Up 4 points. 15 seconds left in the third. Jarrett guarding up tightly on Marshall. Now Michaela Street. Over to Marshall again. Marshall will pull the trigger from deep. Can't find it. 5 seconds in the third. Armstrong trying to push the tempo. 3, 2, and she'll have to pull it from half court. She won't get a shot. Alexis Marshall with the strip. Kind of knocked down Armstrong at the end, but the clock had already hit 0. And Coach Donald Hudson looking a little dismayed by Michaela Street's decision there to kind of push it, but able to laugh about it a little bit. Tornadoes holding a 4-point lead as we head into the final quarter. McKenna Parkins absolutely carrying the offense right now, just under half of the total output scoring-wise so far for the Tornadoes. Nados sitting at 41 points as we enter the fourth, 20 of those off the hand of McKenna Parkins. Next closest is Olivia Miller with 8. And for Barry, their leading scorers, Callahan and Lee, both with 12 apiece. 24 of the Vikings' 37 have come from those two. As we gear up for the final frame, Nados trying to move to unbeaten in their home gym. Fourth quarter getting started. Street into Marshall to start things off. Marshall spinning around, now Petty Wilkins up top. Street right at the stripe, guarded by Lee. Into the corner, now back to Petty Wilkins on the left wing. Street in the corner, gets by Gearing, puts it up, blocked by Wright, and a foul. An early foul in the fourth against Barry. But it's on the floor, so no free throws for Brevard. Marshall from the baseline finds Jada. Jada from deep and too strong. Miller with the offensive rebound, puts it back up and gets 2 more for Brevard. NATO lead up to 6. As Wright has it on the wing. Callahan in the post, going up too strong, gets her own rebound. Can't finish once again. Petty Wilkins with the rebound, pushing the tempo. Pass to Hester, left wing one-on-one with Gearing. Picks up her dribble, turning around, fits it into Miller. Miller can't finish. Jaron Jarrett with the basketball. Now over to Sarah Wright on the near side. Switched on to by Miller. Wright. Pass nearly taken away by the high-flying Street. Instead, it's a three-pointer buried by Kennedy Lee. And the lead cut in half. Marshall, now Street. Street finding Hester in the post. Going up, the turnaround is there! Josie with another basket there. A minute and a half into the fourth. NATO's leading by 5. Sarah Wright once more the basketball, getting a screen from Callahan. She goes away from it, and a foul on Marshall. Tornadoes with their largest lead of the ball game a moment ago at 6 points. The lead as it stands right now at 5. Jarrett, on-ball pressure from Hester and another foul. The referees have been quick with their whistles all night. Barry playing aggressive, and it's paying off. Drawing fouls pretty consistently across each quarter as Kennedy Lee gets the basketball up top and motions to her right. Callahan calls for it. Lee defers and takes it herself. Spinning around off her foot momentarily. Now gives to Jarrett. 6 on the shot clock. Jaron Jarrett, 4 on the shot clock. 3. Callahan has it. Going to have to get a shot off quick. Floats it up, and a shot clock violation. Thought she might have got it off in time. Shot missed the mark regardless. And Tornadoes will take back over 2 minutes into the fourth, leading by 5. Marshall to Street. Now Petty Wilkins. Miller fighting for position. Jada will pass it to Josie Hester. From up straight away for 3. nothing but glass there. Way too strong and a bit off the mark. As Barry with another possession here. Sarah Wright guarded by Hester. Now moving to her right, she loses the basketball. Hester had the steal, Wright able to slap it out of bounds, but it will go the Nados' way. Prevents a fast break, but does not stop the Tornadoes from taking over on offense. McKenna will come back in now after a quick break, leading all scorers with 20 points so far. And that one will go in the books as a steal for Josie Hester, her 4th of the ball game. Marshall. It's gone a long time without a break here in this second half. Gives to Hester, now Miller. Josie has it back from deep once more. Has it! The trifecta for Josie Hester makes it an 8-point ball game. Largest lead of the night for Brevard. Now here's McKinley Hayden, who we haven't seen all game. Gives to Callahan, who knocks down a 3 of her own. Quick answer there. Interesting that we see Hayden, number 5 for Barry, for the first time tonight in the 4th quarter. Marshall, left wing Street. Got to assume Hayden might be in there for defensive purposes, but there's a breakdown. Parkins under the rim once again, finding an easy basket. 7-point lead for the Nados, 6.5 to go, and a timeout for Coach Thomas Johnson. Barry in an unfamiliar spot for most of the night, trailing by 7 here at the Bosch. We'll take a break with both teams back here in just a moment for the final part of this one. 4th quarter, 6.5 to go. Nados leading at 50-43, and the offense just exploding here in the second half. We'll be back. Fourth quarter action continues here. Jarrett with the basketball. Lexi Shepard back in guarding her. Lee gets a screen from Callahan, goes around it, and the pass knocked away by Hester into the arms of Gearing. Gearing charges inside. Back out to Callahan. Trying to put moves on Miller. Into the corner, Gearing once more. Head fake. Trying to put it up, and a travel. Gearing with an eye roll there. Didn't agree with the call. Did get kind of caught up. But a travel as it stands. Lexi Shepard at the controls, gives to Miller. Back to Lexi, now into the corner, Street. Street fouled quickly there by Hayden. Hayden, the freshman guard out of Fayetteville, Georgia. Stars Mill High School. And Lexi will inbound from the baseline. Left wing, Street. Clearing out Hester. Now back to Lexi on the left wing. Street once more. Trying to find a crease. Turning around, losing it momentarily. Bats it over to Lexi. Lexi moving quickly. Turning around on Gearing. Pass Miller mid-range. In and out. Gearing with the board, and here's Jarrett. Jarrett, pass is mishandled, and it'll be a foul against number 5, Hayden. I think Street believed the foul was on her. Lucky to not get a technical there, spiking the basketball. As Lexi racing up the court and then pumping the brakes on Jarrett. Wanted Miller, saw the defender creeping, and now has Miller, and a timeout for Coach Hudson. Didn't want to see his offensive action get stuck there, and instead opts for the timeout. 5:14 to go in this ball game. Tornadoes leading at 50-43. McKenna Parkins shouldering the offensive load here with 22 points so far. A chance to add on, and not quite in career high watch yet, but just 4 everybody watching on the stream. McKenna Parkin's career high is 27 points. That came against Agnes Scott in February of 2022. So nearly 2 years ago, 27 points, the career high for number 24, who has 22 as it stands right now. Miller to inbound. Lexi with it. Surveying, now gives to Street. Picked up by Jarrett and a foul. Jarrett doesn't agree.
That's her third, team fourth.
It's the fourth team foul against the Vikings here in the fourth. 5:07 to go in this one. McKenna has it in the left corner. Miller now up top, Shepard. Hester trying to come around. Lexi looks for her, instead takes it herself, and another foul. This time against Hayden. So just like that, the Tornadoes in the bonus for the final 5 minutes of this one. And 2 free throws coming here for Lexi Shepard. Hayden will step out. Sarah Wright will come in and take her place. Lexi advances the lead to 8, and a chance to make it 9 here. Definitely not out of the woods, but a bit more comfortable than we were used to seeing this game. And that one is drained. 9-point lead for the NATOs, 4:57 to go. Lee, a quiet second half for her. Dishes off to Wright in the corner, bang. Sarah Wright with the tray ball. And the lead down to 6. Street hitting the gas, now passes to a wide open Josie Hester. Beyond the arc, it's good. Josie Hester once again from beyond the arc. Lead back up to 9, an immediate answer from number 15. Wright around a screen, Jarrett. Now Lee on the left wing in front of the Barry bench. Pulls a mid-range, rejected by Parkins. Lexi Shepard has it. 2-on-1 fast break. Miller inside, puts it up, and it's good. It's Miller time, 11-point lead for the NATOs. Left wing Lee. Corner, Sarah Wright. NATO's trying to pull away here in the final stages. Jarrett, guarded tightly by Lexi. Ball falls off her knee. She has to dish off to Wright. Now Lee, 5 on the shot clock, turning around underneath the basket. Reverse is good. .334 to play, 9-point lead for Brevard. Gonna have to play some fundamentally sound basketball to finish this one with the W, and that won't be it as the ball ricochets off a Tornado. And a foul on Josie Hester as Callahan was trying to race to the basket. Third foul against the NATOs. And 2 free throws coming here for Callahan. 1 for 2 from the stripe. Only 1 trip for Callahan. Carly Armstrong will check back in for Barry. Jaron Jarrett will have a seat. First free throw good by Callahan. Second one will fall as well. Olivia, defensive pressure from Barry. Olivia trying to get the pass in. It's over the head of Street and taken in by Kennedy Lee. A rough turnover there for the NATOs as Lee trying to race up the left side. Lexi with her all the way. Right. Armstrong, wide open Callahan, takes the mid-range, too strong. Rebound Josie Hester, pressured, now loses defenders. NATOs have numbers. Street on the left wing, tries to get by Callahan and a blocking foul. And Ellie Callahan tried to take a charge behind the three-point line. Not sure I've seen that work very often as Michaela Street, 2 free throws coming here for her. NATO's leading it by 7, trying to move the lead out to 9 with 3:02 to go. First free throw no good. Call that announcer's jinx off the right rim. One more here for Michaela. That one will fall. Armstrong heaves a deep pass over to Lee in the corner for three, hits, and the foul. Kennedy Lee with the tray ball there. And this one just got a lot more interesting. Lee can cut it to 4 points with just under 3 minutes remaining. After a scorching hot second half for most of it by the Tornado offense, all of a sudden playing very sloppily on both ends. Miller trying to find an inbound, finds Shepard, and she's fouled. Hit from behind by Wright. And 2 free throws coming for her, so a gimme foul there by Barry. And definitely not what head coach Thomas Johnson wanted to see. Alexis Marshall will get ready to come back in. She'll get Street out. Street only with 3 points. Marshall with 3 as well. Has only taken 1 field goal attempt, though. Street 1 for 7. First free throw good by Lexi. Get the lead back up to 5. And the Nados will try and break 60 here on free throw number 2. Shepard knocks it down. 6-point lead, 2:55 to go. Armstrong up the floor, loses it. Lexi guarding her tightly. Armstrong to her left to Sarah Wright. Getting a screen from Callahan. Step back 3, gets nothing but air. Brevard basketball. Armstrong will bow out. Jaron Jarrett back in. Miller. Called for a violation. And it'll be Barry basketball. Miller called for a violation on the inbound. Coach Hudson asked what it was. Seemed to get an explanation, but now creeping towards half court. Believe just to bark out defensive instructions. The official with some words for Barry, instructing them perhaps as Wright gets the inbound up top. Now Callahan has it. Callahan trying to back down on Miller, using her strength, going up, can't finish the layup. Rebound McKenna Parkins. Lexi will slow things down with 2:30 to go and a 6-point lead. Nados still unbeaten on their home floor, trying to keep it that way. Lexi, spin cycle, loses the basketball. Gearing has it in a foul. McKenna Parkins with a take foul on the fast break. And there's the 5th Tornado foul. So now Barry will be in the bonus as well. Both squads, any foul will trigger 2 free throws for them. First free throw from Gearing. Can't hit. Gearing going to try and salvage the pair here and cut the lead down to 5. 2:19 to go here at the Bosch. And that one's pure. Christina Roan will check back in. And Olivia to inbound once more. Trying to find Roan, it's knocked away by Wright. Callahan has it. The Nados cannot complete an inbound right now. Lee into the corner. Jarrett from deep connects. And just like that, it's a 2-point game with 2:09 to go, thanks to some sloppy basketball from the Tornadoes down the stretch. It was an 11-point lead just moments ago. Now it's back down to 2. Tornadoes going to have to group themselves together. We'll take a break with them. 2:09 remaining in this contest. 60-58 Tornado lead. Back out of a quick timeout. Olivia Miller to inbound once more. Tornadoes have struggled with this so far, and another turnover off the inbound. Into the corner, Callahan fakes, goes inside, now whips it over to Lee. Down 2, Lee away from a screen, driving inside, loses it, and it's Brevard ball. Tornadoes lucky to not have to pay for that turnover. And another inbound coming here. Miller once again can't find her teammate, but Marshall able to find the pass. And that one, another dangerous pass. Miller able to corral it. Parkins on the left elbow, going inside, puts it up, can't finish, tip, no, not there. Parkins with an offensive rebound, puts it up and can't hit. Jarrett up the floor now, right at the BC logo. 1:33 to go, 2-point ball game. Right side, Sarah Wright, away from a screen, now to Callahan. Guarded by the smaller Marshall, trying to get inside, can't finish, gets her own offensive rebound, goes up and a foul. A chance to tie the game up here. That'll be against Parkins, who will go over and have a word with head coach Donald Hudson. She'll take a seat, actually. Looked like she was just going over to talk to Hudson. Instead, she subbed out in favor of Michaela Street. Parkins, 22 points. Will be on the bench, at least for the moment. First free throw good there for Callahan. And a furious comeback here late in the ball game by Barry, who had controlled most of the game up until the midway point in the third. And the second free throw good. We're all tied up. 1:21 to go. Olivia Miller quickly trapped by defenders, now gets by. Tornadoes have numbers. Miller inside Euro step and an offensive foul. I don't know how you can call that an offensive foul. It was a Euro step straight into a defender who did not have their feet set. And now in a tied ball game, Barry with a chance to take the lead. 1:12 to go. Jarrett to her left, Lee. Likely the one who's going to take the shot here. Lee dishes out of the corner right. Back to Lee. Guarded by Hester. 14 on the shot clock. Lee finds Callahan down low. Turning around left alone off the glass. It's good. 52 seconds to go. And Barry has the lead by 2. Roan trying to get around defenders and does. Pass half court. Christina Roan trying to help them get into their set. Street and none of the rest of the offense are moving. Now Street gets the basketball. Right wing Marshall. 35 seconds to go. Alexis Marshall over to Roan. Mishandles. Over to Street. Miller right elbow. Thinks about it. Back to Street. Street charging inside. Puts up a floater. Too strong. Rebound Miller. Inside. Up off the glass. And one! The basket and the foul for Olivia Miller. She's got 18 and a chance to make it 19 with just under 22 seconds remaining in this one. Lexi Shepard will come back in. Shania Hauser waiting by the scorer's table. Christina Roan will head back out. And we'll see if Shania comes in and for who. Does appear that she will be as Miller. Free throw connects. 1 point lead for the NATOs, and this one is all that you could have hoped for. Tornadoes 3-3 all time against Barry. The rubber match here. NATOs trying to stay unbeaten on their home floor. 3-0 at the Bosch, trying to make it 4-0. Right, up the floor, less than 20 seconds. Lee gonna step into a three. In and out, rebound right. She goes up and a foul. Another whistle, this one against Olivia Miller. Miller tacked with the foul, and 2 key free throws here for Wright. Everybody in the Bosch getting up and loud. Some substitutions for Coach Thomas Johnson, perhaps. Does look, however, like he is just conferring with his team as Shania Hauser will come in and get Olivia Miller. Not quite sure the line of thinking here for Coach Hudson. Both of his leading scorers sitting on the bench right now. Right, 2 huge free throws. NATO's leading by 1. Crowd roaring. First free throw, no good. And all that Wright can hope to do is tie it up here. And then the NATOs can take the last shot if they please with 11 and a half to go. Got a rebound, and that's why Shania Hauser is in. 4.5 rebounds a game for her. Second free throw, no good. Rebound taken by Barry. Offensive putback, no good. And a jump ball. Possession arrow will stay with Barry with 8.8 to go. And it seems like Barry is catching every break this game, and now they will likely get the last shot. A timeout for Thomas Johnson as he's going to draw up a play. Shania Hauser is in there for one reason, and that's to rebound. Couldn't box out, couldn't get the rebound. Gearing went up with the offensive board, trying to put it back, couldn't get it. And then Tornadoes and Vikings tangled up. A jump ball called, the possession arrow stays with Barry. So now a chance for the final shot for the Vikings here with 8.8 to go in the ball game, and we'll see what kind of substitutions Coach Donald Hudson wants to make here. 63-62 NATOs. Brevard up by a point. Any basket gives Barry the lead and could very well win it. Olivia Miller and McKenna Parkins have got to be back in here. $22 points for Parkins, 16 for Hester, 10 for Miller, and Hester will be the only one on the floor. Interesting decisions here from Coach Hudson. Clearly going with more of a defensive / rebounding lineup. Street, Shepard, Hauser, Marshall, and Hester. And now Coach Hudson wants a timeout. So we'll stay in a break. Consecutive timeouts here with the NATOs leading at 63-62. These final 10 seconds are going to end up taking quite a while here at the Bosch. Still wondering if we will see Parkins or Miller come in here, although I doubt it. Miller does have 5 fouls. Parkins does as well. Did not realize 5 fouls for the two of them. Obviously, Coach Hudson thinking that there's a shot at overtime here. Wants to save them for that. No other Tornado has more than 3. Petty, Wilkins, and Hester both the 3 apiece. 8.8 to go. Jaron Jarrett will inbound. Jarrett. Lee coming around the corner. Jarrett finds her underneath the basket. Turning around, going up. No good. Rebound, Michaela Street. Street will be fouled. And the Tornadoes with the basketball with 3.6 to go. 2 free throws coming from Michaela Street of the utmost importance. Leading by a point. They drew up a play for Lee, their leading scorer. She got underneath the basket, turned around, tried to draw contact, and for once this game, the referees didn't blow a whistle for her. Street's first free throw clangs off the back iron. You need this one, still only leading by a point. Try and get an offensive rebound on a miss. Street focuses on the rim. Can't knock down the second. That one's in the hands of Lee. Trying to put it up, and no good! Tornadoes win it! Brevard wins it 63-62 over Barry to move to 4-0 on their home court. As exciting of a Tornado win as we have seen in a while, and definitely the most exciting that we have seen thus far this season. Back here in just a moment, final post-game stats, thoughts, and recaps here from the Bosch. 63-62 the final. The Tornadoes gave us a heart attack, one could say, but I'm going to go with the Tornadoes gave us a finish. A dramatic ending here on Chick Martin Court, and we will be back to recap it here in just a moment. 63-62 the final. NATOs move to 4-1. Back here from the Bosch, a thrilling victory for the Tornadoes, 63-62. As you see, Coach Hudson not giving his team any slack or breaks after what some would call a great win, some would call a sloppy win, some would call a comeback win. I'm going to choose to just call it what it is, a win. No labels next to that, but as you see, Hudson has the team stretching and working still on the floor after the ball game. Tornadoes going to move to 3-1 on the season, or 4-1 on the season, 4-0 on their home court. Their lone loss of the year coming on the road to a really difficult Guilford squad in Greensboro. The Tornadoes, really interesting stat, since the start of last season, 14-3 on their home floor, including postseason. 14-3 here at the Bosch, a true home court advantage, and you felt it here tonight with the presence of the fans and the energy that was provided throughout the building. Coach Hudson's main key to the game that he gave us was rebound, 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 and the Tornadoes just did just that, winning the rebound battle 39-30. One problem for the Tornadoes was fouling, however. 24 free throws for Barry. They hit 18 of them, and the other big issue for the Tornadoes was turnovers. 26 Brevard turnovers tonight ended up not costing them. It very well could have, though. Tornadoes held an 11-point lead late in the fourth, and all of a sudden the on-ball pressure, especially on the inbounds, came to sort of haunt the Tornadoes that Barry was coming with, and Barry knocked down a few shots, including a 4-point play where Kennedy Lee shot it from the far corner, was fouled, and was able to hit the free throw and kind of tighten that noose on the Tornadoes, if you will. McKenna Parkins had 22. Josie Hester with 16 points. Olivia Miller with 10. That trio combining for 48 of the 63 BC points. Alexis Marshall had her biggest contribution of the season thus far. 4 assists for her and was highly efficient on the defensive end as well. Lee and Callahan for Barry, both 21 points apiece. Lee added 5 assists to that as well. And we knew that those were going to be the two main culprits for Barry coming into the night. Kennedy Lee averaging 17, 4, and 3. Ellie Callahan averaging 14 and 6. Barry will fall to 2-4, 2-2 on the road following the loss to the Tornadoes. Tornadoes 4-1. Their next matchup will be here on Thursday night against NC Wesleyan, a huge home conference match. Tornadoes bulking up on the home games in the early part of the season. And you may ask why it's such a huge matchup this early in the season, end of November. Well, that's because North Carolina Wesleyan was voted number 1 in the preseason USA South poll, and Brevard was voted as the number 2 team. The two teams tabbed as the favorites in the USA South, and we'll get a chance to see how the Tornadoes measure up against the battling Bishops here on Thursday night. That'll be a 6 o'clock tip. And then we've got men's basketball as well on Friday night here at the Bosch. I will not be on the call for that one, but I will most definitely be here Thursday night against NC Wesleyan. Final score, 63-62. Tornadoes winning it to stay unbeaten here at the Bosch, 4-0, 4-1 all told here so far in the 2023-2024 season. Until next time, I am Brady Penn saying, let's go Tornadoes. Tornadoes win it 63-62 over the Barry Vikings.